these bolts don't come out. Kind of like my thought process on that Dumouflage a minute ago. All right, so I think the smart thing would be to go ahead and change these first. Or maybe they do come out. God dang it. Yo, what up? I'm in a little bit better mood this morning. I was just telling my older son that needs to drive more. I was like, dude, just do it. You know what I mean? Just push me out of the way. He was grabbing the keys, and he's a nice kid, man. He starts his mom's car for him. For her, I should say. She starts wifey's car in the morning. But I seen him grabbing keys, and I was like, ooh, I bet he's gonna grab my keys too. Just go ahead and get in the driver's seat. I mean, I'd be cool with that. I know it's my truck or whatever, but I want him to just be like, hey, you know, I gotta drive. I gotta get this going. Anyway, speaking of drive, I'm in a way better mood this morning, just knowing that I'm not gonna go straight up on the roof this morning like I have the last week. Matter of fact, I just dropped them off at school. I'm gonna shoot across the bridge to the shop. I'm gonna get this Dodge Charger. We're gonna drive it to town. Now, here's my only worry, right? I'm wondering if I should just do the brakes today. Because here's the deal. Not only do I have to fix whatever it is I'm gonna fix on it, but I gotta get it back over to the shop and hidden, get my truck, come back home before they get home from school. Like, I can't get this thing over there in the driveway, tear it apart, not be able to put it back together, and then they come home from school and be like, what's this? You know, so I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I could do this oil cooler thing that's under the intake relatively quickly and get it done right, but I don't know. I'll have to show you guys the packaging. It was more than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be like a little radiator thing that just set under there that oil just flows through, that's got like little aluminum, you know, like heat sinks on it or something. But this thing, it's the whole shit. It's the whole where the oil filter goes, because it's a top mount oil. But then there's a bag of rubber bands for some reason. It's a whole Ziploc bag of like rubber bands. I don't know if those are like some type of intake gasket, or I don't know what it is, bro. I'm multi-talented. I shouldn't even be saying this. I'm gonna cut this part out because I bet you I can get it over here and get that oil cooler. I gotta change the oil too, though, don't I? Because I'd say I'd have to drain the oil before I tear all that apart up top. I'm gonna get oil all down in the engine. That would be something. Hydro lock it up. There we go. Let's get this car real quick. Hydro lock it. I'll holler at y'all later. I think they're only like $8 at least. How's it going?
It's going.
What's the damage on that? $70.
Yep.
Gone.
Yeah.
First time it's been in the driveway. Man, I ain't gonna front, dude. I like this car. I hope he likes it as much as we do, man. Let's get to it. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Look at this crap. It's a whole Ziploc bag of like rubber bands. I would assume that this is all intake runner. Like it's not like a plastic intake on it. And I assume every one of these just goes around some sort of one of the runners. But we've got that. This is the oil cooler itself, which I'm assuming it goes in one and out the other. And just the fact that it's an aluminum, I'm guessing that helps cool something. We got a little plug here with some looks like some thread seal or some Loctite already on it. This is crazy to me. That's how you guys change the oil on these Chargers, man. I guess you could put some sort of a socket on that, unscrew it. That's what that big O-ring's for in there. I'm guessing is for that. But this is the bulk of it. Yeah, so these kind of look like some of those Little rubber band. It's like they were shaped about like that. But yeah, the oil cartridge sits down in here, and then you just screw a cap on it. But this goes up underneath the intake, I guess is what makes it such a hard job. Here's more of those plugs. How do you know which plug stays on? This looks like a problem, because that looks like a rubber hose clamps onto that, which if I'd have known that, I would have got whatever rubber hose, because I want it all new under there. I don't want to have any issues. I mean, we're talking about a 17-year-old kid here. He's not going to be paying attention to, oh man, and it did come with an oil filter. So I just spent $30 on a filter. Well, we'll have an extra one for him, I guess. But let's pop the hood, baby. Yeah, I know I should be working on the engine right now, but just out of curiosity, and I've said how good this stuff is. I don't know if this even picks up on camera or not, how faded this wing is, but I'm gonna try just this section right here with Mr. Sam's spray wax and see what it does. I mean, that's downright crazy. Can you guys see that difference right here to here? It's gonna do even better on the car itself. I mean, I'm obviously not being sponsored to shout out Mr. Sam's spray wax, but I will endorse it either way and stand by it. That stuff is amazing. I can't wait to do a whole detail video on this thing. I mean, I'm gonna buff it, you know, all that. This thing's gonna look great when he gets it. It's kind of slowly setting into the predicament I put myself into. I already took the cover off of it, but this is my only means of transportation right now. So if I were to tear this apart and not get it back together, I have no way of getting my truck back. Yeah. So I definitely need to get this back together. Huh? Guess there's no time like the present, huh? There's a lot of stuff in there that I don't want to get blown into the engine. Okay, so after spending a lot longer than what I'd care to admit looking for this stupid bit, I literally took it out of the package, brand new swivel 1/4-inch drive bit, took it out of the package and set it down in the abyss that I call my garage. I don't know, hopefully that's in frame, but I got a nice clean piece of sheetrock as a work table. Leave everything there, James. Quit moving shit. I'm never gonna get this done if I do that 2 or 3 more times. That's for sure. I'm just diving into this head first, fellas. I don't know how tight those are supposed to be, but didn't feel very tight at all. I can't even get a socket on these. Daggone, man. 10mm wrench. Oh, I'm sure I've got one of those. Dodge. I want to take my Cletus hat off so I don't get it freaking filthy and ruined, but I feel like I need some Cletus luck to get this done. So I'm gonna leave it on for now, for the time being. And by that I mean being able to get this done in time. I only have till 2:30 when they get home from school, and it's like 10:30 right now. Ooh! Is that missing an O-ring? Oh, it's stuck on this end. All right. We did a thing. We We actually just got to plant them off. That's all we've done. But feels like a thing. All right, how much deeper, boss man? All right. And don't throw your phone, people. Not only should you not throw it, but you should also reinstall it. Let's see here. We've got a fuel line. It's going to be under pressure. Dun, 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 dun. Let's go ahead and pop that and get sprayed. That wasn't a lot of fuel at all, which is odd because just drove it up to here. It must have decent fuel pressure though, because it runs this fine. That one. All right. Let's take these intake bolts out. What size are they? I'm just going to leave the fuel rails attached to the intake. I don't know why I wouldn't. Famous last words. Ooh, a little bit of gas in it. So that's all the intake is for a Dodge Charger. God, there's a lot of gas in it. Set it over here. Well, let me bring you guys in here real quick. So, to me, it looks like a new oil cooler. These sensors definitely look new. I'm guessing this top one is a coolant and that bottom one is a oil pressure sensor. That's just me guessing. If you look down in there, let me see if I can zoom you in. There's definitely some oil in there. That might be too far zoom. Focus, you piece of sh. Yeah, there's definitely some oil down in there. And what's happening is, especially if I'm going up a steep hill, it's like running off the back here and onto the exhaust. And then you're like Ricky Bobby and you think you're on fire. Well, let me go ahead and take this out the rest of the way. All right, so hear me out. The last thing I want is to pull that intake off and get a bunch of oil down in something that doesn't need oil in it, like the cooling system, or So look, what's the saying? It's only a bad idea if it don't work. So I'm thinking I can shove this shop back in there and then just go fishing. You know what I mean? Oh. It just sounded like a lot of oil. Oh. Ah, dang it. It was sucking it up all right. I just didn't realize it didn't make it out of this tube, and now it's all over the... God almighty. Well, okay. Why didn't you guys tell me? Apparently it was just pouring right back out of this thing. I knew there was some oil getting sucked up. Just didn't know where the hell it was going. Oh, I'm still spilling it all over myself. God almighty. Well, that wasn't as swift and quick as I wanted. Wow. I gotta really bring you guys in for this one. Insane. So it's a mixture of coolant and that. So if they did change this at one point, these gaskets and seals are shot. I mean, that has to be the problem. But I'll go ahead and change it. Even though it looks somewhat new, I mean, surely they didn't do it and not change the seals or whatever. But my biggest fear is, like this one here is a coolant passage. I didn't want oil going down in there or, you know, whatever. I should have watched a video on this. Tell you what, I wish I knew what this sensor was right here. I would go ahead and change it. Because if that ain't one of those while you're in there, I don't know what would be. Let's finish shop backing this out and put the new one in. All right. Well, that's about as clean as I'm gonna get it down in this valley here. And I don't know. I wish I had more time because I would clean it better, but I would also, those are most likely some sort of like a knock sensor. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's like I guess the best way I can describe it, like a pre-detonation sensor. And they put them deep in the valleys like that, so that the computer can tell if there's any knock or a pre-detonation situation, and it can pull timing accordingly. But overall, it's pretty clean. It's not a bunch of oil in there anymore. I cleaned off all the mating surfaces. I think the only thing left to do now at this point is put this thingamabobber down in the Dumaflage, and I'm guessing that's where these forever ring looking seals come in to play. They fit perfect, so that has to be where they go. If you don't have any assembly lube, just get the little bit of oil off the front of your car that you spilled all over it. There we go. Just need some screws. I'm gonna do this by hand. Definitely don't need a ton of torque on them. Man, I ain't gonna be able to reach my thing. I should have put the screws in the thing. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Because I'm not gonna be able, I'm gonna drop every screw if I do. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going a lot of screws in. 5, 6. So your Dumaflage has 6 screws in it. Remember that. Oh, my back, man. I think I'm ready for the intake. These bolts don't come out. Kind of like my thought process on that Dumaflage a minute ago. Alright, so I think the smart thing would be to go ahead and change these first. Or maybe they do come out. God dang it. Well, that son of a biscuit didn't want to come out a minute ago, did it? So I'm missing an intake bolt. Big deal. Oh, that's cool. You can see the injectors. You guys want to see? Look at all the little injector heads. The little spray nozzles. There's 4 little nozzle ports. Hey, this is kind of a good time to go ahead and clean the intake, huh? It's really not as bad as you would think for a car that this old as this is. Since I don't have a pick set, because I can't find it, I'm going to pick these seals out with this little... It's funny because it's a little flathead screwdriver that I had tried to do something that was out of its capabilities, and it actually broke the tip off to a little point. So it's just like a pick, really. But I know you're thinking, is it that simple? You just pull, yeah, it's really that simple. You just pull those little O-rings out of their, that kind of recesses down in there. I forgot one. And I'm just gonna clean the surface. I'm not gonna clean the intake. I mean, there's no sense in it. Which are these? Just a different color, I guess. All right. 1, 2. Like little flared out little swell points on them. That makes it fit tight in the slot so that it can't fall out when you're trying to drop the intake back on there. This is actually a ratcheting thing too. And these are like a T20, or I'm sorry, like a T15. But the head of them is really close to a quarter. Or actually, I think I took those off of the 5/16, didn't I? Yeah, where's that at? Well, I need to find that one too, though, real quick. Of course, it didn't fall all the way down. Can't get that lucky. But there is a lot of room to reach in here. Maybe it did fall all the way down. Nope. Damn it. I really didn't think those could come out. They didn't act like they could. I hear people. God, I put my oily hands on this guy's car everywhere. Got it. No need to fear. Gotcha, man. Found the bolt. All right. Well, let's find that 5/16 and run them down. So before I put those seals for the plenum, I'm gonna plug my injectors back in. Take my little makeshift pick all these out. Definitely know they're the right ones. Am I really this far along? It is 12 o'clock. On the dot, I'm in my driveway, working on shit. Okay. Wow. Those are like coarse thread plastic bolts. Gee whiz. It's crazy what automotive manufacturers have went to nowadays. Try to drop this on as straight as I can. Again, just like before, we'll start with this, but just not go crazy or not end with it. Tell you what though, I am much happier. My soul is happier doing this than working on that roof. Jeez. I had to jack it up just to get my fat ace under there. I gotta say, I've never put a filter in like this before either. right. Supposedly supposed to hold one more quart after the 5. Let's see. Yeah, definitely. Skills, baby. I don't know why I had to say anything. Idiot. Can't forget this. Finishing touches, I reckon. It does look a lot better with it. This is definitely one of those engines that you could detail an engine bay and look pretty good. All right. Dang, we're right on the money, pimping. Wonder how I could go about cranking this without dry. Some of these newer cars, you can hold the gas pedal to the floor while you're cranking, and it won't crank up. It'll just allow oil pressure and stuff, which not only do I need oil pressure to build back up, but I need fuel pressure to build back up, because I unhooked that too. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try to hold it to the floor and see if it does what I'm talking about. Oh. Well, you can't do that because you have to hold the brake. Well, maybe I'll hold both. 85 PSI of oil pressure. Gee whiz. But it actually worked though. You could hold the gas or the brake and the gas at the same time, gas to the floor, and it cranked without starting. For anybody out there wondering, I guess. Curious, because I mean, obviously the code wasn't an oil cooler. It had no idea that the oil cooler was leaking, but I knocked it out in about an hour. I mean, I don't know.
That ain't too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Or hour and a half.
It's not real hard, but it's not. It's just a.
It's a bitch, yeah.
It's a bitch.
It was deep in there, yeah.
That's really what it
is. Yeah. I bet that thing's expensive, ain't it?
Yeah, this one was like $7 grand, I think. But this one only goes up to 2015, so I've got another one in there.
Oh my God, how much was that for?
How much 10?
You gotta really turn some wrenches to pay for that, I would.
Yeah, we ain't.
That
we ain't
sucks, bro. Yeah.
It's been shitty.
Get a little cold start on this, see what it would sound like. It's just mufflers deleted?
I believe so. Maybe muffler. It might have a resonator, but.
Actually don't sound bad at all. Yeah, there's nothing over there. That does sound like a GTR.
It don't sound bad.
What year is this? It's probably close.
16?
16, yeah.
It's 3.6, 16. Same
Those
motor.
wheels would be sick.
Yeah, those are 6 wheels.
Is his oil cooler leak yet?
Oh yeah, one. He blowed it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dang on. This thing is sick. God. Dang. Daggone. It's on a whole new level. No more service engine light. No lights on at all in this thing. Well, fun time's over. Not gonna act like I didn't have a good time. Really enjoyed it. That little gas-powered remote control car was sick. Which that should have been the last scene you guys just seen. So my plan was to take the whole day like that, do things I enjoy, and then finish this roof tomorrow. But starting to cloud up. Took another look at the weather. It's gonna rain tomorrow, so so much for that plan. Plus my middle son is currently serving detention, so I can only work up here for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, go get him from detention, come back, work on it. But I got to get this done once and for all, and man, did I have a good day. That was so cool, dude. And the one thing that I was really worried about was the CarPlay, because I didn't see any way to hook up Bluetooth, but I found out while taking it back to the hiding spot that there is a USB plug in the console, and plugged it into Type-C into this iPhone here. This is the newest one, and it played flawlessly. Sounded pretty good too. So anyway, I'm gonna have to cut it here so I have a chance to edit it as well. I love you guys. Let's fix that car, baby. Let's buff it. Let's do a detail video coming up. And of course, let's pay that truck off, baby. Woo! It's so corny.